Yali Mother to all the friends online, and thank you for joining us. Today we will start on a new Farman, Karachi, Pakistan, Baitul Khayal Mulaqat, December 15, 2017. Inshallah. Let's start with Imam's blessed name. Nur Maulana Shah Karim Al Hussaini, Hazir Imam, Hazir Imam. या मौलाए मेहरबान मदद फरमा मदद फरमा या मौलाए मेहरबान मदद फरमा अलैयुल कय्यूम अली अल्लाह मदद फरमा या मौला तौफीक ताहीद हिम्मत व यारी मौला तौफीक ताहीद हिम्मत व यारी मौला या मौला अपने नूर से हम गरीबों की हिदायत फरमा मौला या मौला मेहरबान अपने नूर से हमारी दोरवनी कर मौला ताकि हम इन फरामीन को पढ़कर समझकर उस पर चल सके मौला या मौला मेहरबान मदद मौला मदद तमाम साथियों को एक बार फिर या अली मदद बैतुल खैल फरमान प्लीज रिसाइट द होली सलवात अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला मुहम्मदिन व आले मुहम्मद in this Karachi Farman of Baitul Khayal, Mola Baba shows his happiness to see the murid who have decided to take a step further in our tariqah. Remember, in our tariqah, there are things which are compulsory and required as per our Shariat, which are 3-time dua, the sond, and 1 single madlas, the Chandrat madlas. Everything after that are part of either khidmat, qurbani, or in the case of Baitul Khayal, only when a murid comes forward and says, Ya Mullah, I would like to elevate my soul. I want to do something for my soul. I want to do something for hereafter. Not a compulsory, but with the understanding that our tariqah is a tariqah of batin, then this is the only practice which is directly, here's the underlined word, connected to your batin. The reason I'm using the word directly, meaning something you are intentionally doing without being required, without being forced, without being asked. And you are coming to the Imam of the time, and that makes Imam happy. Instantly, as soon as you are in the front of the Imam asking for Isme Azam, showing your intention, right there, making the Imam happy is your success. Look at it. You have not done anything yet. You have not started anything yet. You have not come to the Jamaat Khana for Ibadat after receiving the bowl yet. Already you are successful because you just made Imam of the time happy. And the pleasure of the Imam is the most highest in the list of a moment. In the Quran, it's called Rizwan. The Rizwan, the pleasure of Allah, is the most highest. Nothing makes Imam more happier than to see a moment comes and says, Ya Mola, I, without a force, want to do something for my soul. Think about that. यहाँ पर थोड़ा सा मैं दोबारा से अभी हमने फरमान का आगाज नहीं किया है, एक बात को समझाना चाहता हूं और यहाँ पर इमाम के पहले ही लाइन के अंदर जो मौला ने फरमाया है कि जब कोई मोमिन किसी भी जोर जबरदस्ती के बगैर अपनी मर्जी से इमाम के पास आता है और कहता है कि या मौला, मैं अपनी रूह के लिए कुछ करना चाहता हूं, अपनी रूह की तरक्की के लिए इसमें आजम लेना चाहता हूं, इबादत करना चाहता हूं। ये देखकर इमाम ज़मान को बहुत ही खुशी होती है। याद रखें कि हमारे तरीके में जो फराइज हैं वो सिर्फ 3 है, यानी कि 3 टाइम की दुआ, दसौन और चांद रात की मजलिस। इसके अलावा जितनी भी चीजें हैं या तो वो खिदमत के दायरे में आती है, कुर्बानी के दायरे में आती है, और उसके ऊपर बैतुल ख्याल की इबादत डायरेक्टली रूहानियत और हकीकत के दायरे में आती है। यहाँ पर जो वर्ड है डायरेक्टली, क्योंकि हर राइट्स और रिचुअल में कुछ न कुछ रूहानी फायदा होता है, लेकिन वो तमाम के तमाम रिक्वायरमेंट के अंदर या तो खिदमत के जरिए से या तो कुर्बानी के जरिए से आना था। लेकिन ये एक ऐसी इबादत है या एक ऐसा अमल है जो बराह रास्त रूहानियत की तरफ एक मुरीद को ले जाता है। ये देखकर इमाम को बहुत खुशी होती है और इमाम को खुश पाना ही, खुश करना ही एक मोमिन की लिस्ट के अंदर नंबर 1 होता है, सबसे ऊपर होता है। कुरान के अंदर इसको रिजवान कहा गया कि खुदा की खुशी सबसे बुलंद चीज, मकाम होता है। अभी तक हमने इबादत का आगाज नहीं किया है, अभी तो हमको इसमें आजम भी नहीं मिला है, अभी तक तो हम इबादत में भी नहीं बैठे हैं। लेकिन यहाँ अपनी मर्जी से जाने से ही आपकी कामयाबी हो गई, क्योंकि आपने जमाने के इमाम को खुश कर दिया, उसकी खुशनौदी हासिल कर ली। और यही आपकी एक मुरीद की, एक फॉलोवर की सबसे बड़ी कामयाबी है। सबसे बड़ी कामयाबी है। With this understanding, let's come to the Farman. My beloved spiritual children, my happiness today to see so many muris coming forward to enter into the Bethel Khyal, and the Farman I will give you is important. I start by giving you, each one of you, individually, my best special loving blessings. Kanavadan, Kanavadan, Kanavadan. After that, Mullah says, I would begin the Farman by reminding my Jamaat that entering into the Baitul Khyal is voluntarily. आपने देखा कि आगाज के अंदर ही मौला ये आपको समझाना चाहते हैं कि बैतुल ख्याल में दाखिल होना वॉलंटियरली है, वॉलंटियरली है, ना कि फर्ज के अंदर आता है। So I assume that each of you are here in front of me because you wish to be here. आप यहाँ पर अपनी फ्री विल से आए हैं और ये जबरदस्ती नहीं है। Not because someone has said my uncle has to go, my father has to go, my sister has to go. You are here because individually you want to be here. Is that correct? Imam is asking question. जमात को पूछते हैं मौला क्या आप अपनी मर्जी से आए हैं? जवाब में जमात फरमाती है यस। मौला दोबारा पूछते हैं, जमात जवाब देती है जी खुदावंद, यस। मौला jokes that women are much more expressive than the men. Hazrat Imam with a laughter says कि जब जवाब आया तो खवातीन ने काफी जोर से कहा जी मौला, जी खुदावंद। More power to our sisters, mothers and daughters. They have made Imam happy. In that is a happiness for the Jamaat. Ameen. The women are much more expressive than the men. Hazrat Imam laughs. All right. So I'm very happy that you should enter into Baitul Khyal. Subhanallah. This is the line where we had begun. कि जब मौला देखते हैं कि मेरी जमात और उसमें से हजारों के हिसाब से वो मुरीद हैं जो अपने रूह के बारे में और आखिरत के बारे में सोच रहे हैं, ये चीज इमाम को बहुत अच्छी लगती है, खुश करती है। When Imam sees that thousands and thousands of murid are thinking of, without being pressured, without being required, of their soul and wants to enter into the Baitul Khyal. Someone can say or think, but I entered into the Baitul Khyal when I was just a child. My mother, my father, my family had enrolled me into the Baitul Khyal. Think about that. But here Mullah says, I'm happy to see that you should enter into the Baitul Khyal. At the end, someone can ask a question. How do we understand that? And that would be a good question to ask. क्योंकि हम देखते हैं कि हम तो बचपन से ही हमारे माँ बाप ने हमको बैतुल ख्याल के अंदर दाखिल कर दिया था जब हम शायद 2 4 5 दिन के थे, 1 हफ्ते 2 हफ्ते के थे, तो फिर उस वक्त हम बैतुल ख्याल में दाखिल हुए थे या आज हम बैतुल ख्याल में दाखिल हो रहे हैं? ये बहुत सोचने की बात है और अच्छा सवाल है. Mullah says, let me explain that in our tradition there are practices which are all men and all murids throughout the world. Then there are practices which are voluntary, and an individual at a given time in his life or her life seeks spiritual uplifting, spiritual strength, seeks courage to face difficulties, wants to bring happiness to the family, to the children. So there are many reasons for practicing outside the normal road of practice that we have. Imam said there are practices which are compulsory, which every murid, every smiley perform. And you know those three now. Then there is the ibadat, betul khiyal, which is not voluntary. I'm sorry, which is voluntary, not compulsory. And one seeks this to uplift his own soul. Not only that, to get spiritual strength, to seek courage, to face difficulties. Look at all the benefits of ibadat along with your soul, because when your soul is strong and uplifted, all of this will come from it. If we have a weak soul, then physically we will also be weak. But when we have a strong soul with ibadat, with Isme Azam, with Betul Khayal, that will give us a strength and courage to face difficulties because our soul will be strong. And that you can help your family, your children, and that is the great reason outside the normal road of practice that we have. जब हम इबादत करते हैं, जब हम बैतुल ख्याल के अंदर आते हैं, तो उससे हमें जो हिम्मत मिलती है, जो कुव्वत मिलती है, हमारी रूह को जो पावर मिलता है, उससे हमारी बहुत सारी दूसरी जिस्मानी और अक्लानी कमजोरियां या मुश्किलात भी आसान हो जाती है, क्योंकि हमारी रूह पावरफुल है, कुव्वत है उसके अंदर जज्बा होता है, और वो दुनिया की हर मुश्किल, फैमिली की हो चाहे बच्चों की हो, उसके ऊपर वो अबूर पा लेते हैं. That is a very great way of understanding the Betul Khayal and Ibadat. So, you enter into Betul Khayal as an individual, as an individual decision. Each one of you, and I don't want spiritual children to feel they have to enter because the family has said that you should be there or something else. This is voluntary. Is that well understood? All right, good. मौला दोबारा से इस बात को समझाते हैं, क्योंकि अगर आप अपनी खुशी से आए हैं तो मैं भी खुश हूं उसके अंदर। अगर आप अपनी खुशी से नहीं आए हैं, जोर जबरदस्ती या किसी ने कहा कि आपको जाना है, आपकी नीयत नहीं थी, तो फिर मौला फरमाते हैं कि ये आपके लिए नहीं है, क्योंकि ये इसका दारोमदार नीयत पर था। इस अमल का दारोमदार नीयत पर था। अगर आपकी नीयत है तो फिर आप अपनी खुशी से आए हैं, तो फिर इसके अंदर इमाम की खुशी है। और ये बहुत अच्छी बात होगी, क्योंकि आपने एक अच्छा काम करने की, एक बुलंदी पर जाने की नियत की है। सुभान अल्लाह। Secondly, I would say to my spiritual children that when you sit early in the morning to seek that spiritual enlightenment, sit in peace. Sit without greed. Keep in mind that this is a spiritual matter. It has nothing to do with the material world around you. यहाँ पर एक बात को पहले समझ लेते हैं कि जब हम सुबह को 3 बजे 4 बजे इबादत के अंदर बैठते हैं, सबसे पहले जो 2 काम करने हैं वो ये है, आराम से, इत्मीनान से बैठे, किसी लालच के बगैर बैठे। When you sit in the morning, sit in peace without any other worry or thought, without a greed that if I do this, I will get that. If I would do this, I will get that. That is the greed. This Garib and Nachis have explained this part many times, but it is good to be reminded. I have heard from many friends on this channel that if I sit in Ibadat, would my physical difficulties be removed? Right there, your niyat was not for the spiritual upliftment, but it was for the purpose of a material physical benefit. Incorrect niyat results gives you incorrect results, because niyat was not to uplift the soul for the benefit of the batin, but the niyat and the greed was there, that if I sit in ibadat, my physical difficulties, my material difficulties will be removed. The benefit and the niyat intention was physical and material. That shows the greed part right there. And Imam said, I don't want that. You should not do that. That is not correct. That isn't right. Ibadat is not for that purpose. Having said that, with the ibadat, if you get courage, strength, and due to that, your physical difficulties, material difficulties are eased. Those are the side benefit. side benefit of the ibadat, but that should not be the intention or the purpose of ibadat should not be that. यहाँ पर नाची ये समझा रहा था कि मैंने इस लाइन के ऊपर काफी मर्तबा इस बात को सुना है कि क्या हम इबादत करेंगे तो हमारी दुनियावी मुश्किलात आसान हो जाएंगी, क्या हमें दुनिया के अंदर कोई फायदा होगा। अगर ये नियत है तो यहाँ हमें पता चलता है कि हमारी नियत खराब है और हमारे दिल में लालच है। हमें दुनिया की जरूरत थी जिसके लिए हमने बैतुल ख्याल और इसमें आजम और इबादत का सहारा लिया है, और हमारी गलत नियत की वजह से हमें जो दोहरा फायदा होने वाला था अब वो सिर्फ टेम्पररी दुनियावी फायदे के अंदर चला गया, और ये एक बहुत बड़ी गलती होगी हमारी। हाँ, अगर इबादत करने से आपकी रूह स्ट्रांग होने की वजह से अगर उससे आपका दुनियावी काम आसान हो जाता है तो ये दूसरी बात है, लेकिन इस नियत के साथ हमको इबादत में नहीं बैठना चाहिए, इस लालच के साथ हमको इबादत में नहीं बैठना चाहिए। क्योंकि अगर आपकी नियत ही खराब थी, यानी कि आपकी नियत दुनियावी फायदे की थी, जबकि बैतुल ख्याल और इसमें आजम रूहानी फायदे के लिए होना चाहिए था। अगर रूहानी फायदे के साथ साथ अगर कोई दुनियावी फायदा हो जाता है तो ठीक है, लेकिन नियत ये नहीं होनी चाहिए। ये मौला यहां पर हमें समझाते हैं। कीप इन माइंड दैट दिस इज ए स्पिरिचुअल मैटर। याद रखें कि ये रूहानी मामला है। इट हैज नथिंग टू डू विद मटेरियल वर्ल्ड, और इसका दुनिया से कोई लेना देना नहीं है। So you want to exclude the material world from your thoughts at this time. तो जरूरी है कि आप दुनिया को इस वक्त अपने दिमाग से निकाल दें। ओपन योर हार्ट, ओपन योर सोल। अपने दिल को और अपनी रूह को सामने लाएं, खोल दें। सीक द लाइट, नूर की तलाश करें, एंड इंशाल्लाह every one of you one day will be touched by this light. और इंशाल्लाह आप में से हर एक दिन इस नूर की रोशनी से को महसूस करेंगे। खाना वदान, खाना वदान, खाना वदान। So far we noticed that not only Imam is happy that you have entered into the Baitul Qiyal, but he also is coaching, teaching, and preaching how to do it, when to do it in the morning, what to do and what not to do, how to sit, what your niyat would be, what would be the benefit of that, and to make sure you are not doing ibadat for the material purposes, physical benefits, but for the spiritual benefit and for the benefit of the soul. Along with that, if you get the strength and courage and it ease your physical and material difficulties, then those are the side effects, additional benefits of the Baitul Qiyal. But it cannot be the primary reason, the niyat, because that will fall under the area of greed. So just sit in peace and seek the light. And Mullah say, Inshallah, each one of you individually will be touched by this light. Amin. खानावदान खानावदान खानावदान। तो यहाँ पर हम बिल्कुल वाज़े तौर पर समझ गए कि हमारी नीयत क्या होगी। मौला ने हमें समझाया कि कब इबादत करनी है, किस तरह करनी है, क्या ख्याल में रखना है और क्या ख्याल में नहीं रखना है। किसके लिए है? रूहानी रूह की बेनिफिट फायदे के लिए है, ना कि दुनियावी फायदे के लिए। आपकी नियत रूह की बुलंदी होना चाहिए, दुनिया की तरक्की नहीं। मौला ने बहुत ही आसान अल्फाजों में हमें समझाया है ये। खाना वदान। My beloved spiritual children, keep in mind that this is a spiritual matter. It is not a material matter. This line is the most important line. That remember, this is a spiritual matter, not a material matter. It is also very personal to each one of you. ये रूहानी मामला है, दुनियावी मामला नहीं है, और ये हर एक के लिए जाती है। This is your personal, very personal for each one of you. If you are successful, if you are touched by that light, keep it to yours. Keep it as yours. Don't talk about it. Don't try to share the experience with others, because this is for each one of you individually. क्योंकि ये जाती मामला है। जब आपको ये नूर नसीब हो तो ये आपके लिए है, उसके बारे में बात ना करें, किसी के साथ शेयर करने की कोशिश ना करें। क्यों? कि ये बहुत ही जाती मामला है, आपके लिए है। Because this is for each one of you individually, that you should inshallah be touched. Best wishes. I mean, if you are successful, you will know it. मौला दोबारा से आपके लिए दुआ करते हैं कि इंशाल्लाह आपको ये नूर नसीब हो, और इसके लिए मेरी सबसे बेहतरीन ख्वाहिशात है। मौला की दुआएं हमारे साथ है। जरूर जरूर हर एक को ये नूर का दीदार, ये नूर का लम्स नसीब होगा। आमीन। And I said to my spiritual children, in this matter, there is no failure. You are accustomed to thinking of success and failure. This is an area where there is no failure. You cannot fail. You may be successful. You may have to be patient to be successful, but there is no failure. If you are not successful, it is not wrong. So I urge my spiritual children not to think in the terms of right and wrong in this matter. यहाँ पर मौला ने और ज्यादा वाजे कर दिया कि चूंकि हम दुनिया के अंदर रहते हैं, जहां पर हर चीज को हम नुकसान और नफे के तौर पर देखते हैं कि मेरा इसमें क्या फायदा है, मेरा कोई फायदा हुआ, क्या मुझे इसमें फायदा होगा। मौला बोलते हैं कि ये वो मैटर नहीं है कि जहां पर हम नफा और नुकसान के तौर पर इसको देखें। यहाँ तो बैठने में ही फायदा है। और याद रखें कि मौला को जब आपने इस मकाम पर आकर खुश कर दिया तो सबसे बड़ा कामयाबी और फायदा आपका हो गया। लेकिन इबादत में लालच के साथ फायदा सोचते हुए ना बैठे, और याद रखें कि इबादत में कोई नुकसान का खदशा नहीं, सिर्फ और सिर्फ कामयाबी कामयाबी और कामयाबी है। Remember, when you sit in ibadat, there is no such thing as failure or unsuccessful, because the day you made your imam happy, the time that you went to receive this Isme Azam, in that act you have also already have received, and you already are successful. You have nothing but success on your side because you made the imam happy. And now, in fulfilling your promise of sitting in ibadat, you are making imam happy again. You are already successful. There is no chance, there is no way that you will be failed. There is no such thing. Failure is not part of ibadat. And you already saw two success already. Making imam happy the first time, at the time of bowl, making imam happy again by keeping your promise and sitting in ibadat. Successful, successful. There is no chance of failure. Failure is not part of ibadat. It's not possible to fail. Even if you try to fail, you cannot fail. If your niyat, your intention is correct, and if you are waking up, you are sitting in ibadat, you are already successful, because you are fulfilling your promise to the imam, and that makes imam happy. In imam's happiness is your success. जब आप उठकर बैठ गए तो समझ ले आप कामयाब हो गए, क्योंकि आपने जो वादा किया था कि अगर आप मुझे इसमें आजम देंगे तो मैं सुबह को उठ के इबादत करूंगा, ये वादे पूरा करते ही आप कामयाब हो गए, क्योंकि इमाम की खुशी ही आपकी कामयाबी है। इस मकाम पर नाकामी का कोई भी खदशा नहीं है, और नाकामी मुमकिन ही नहीं है, क्योंकि जब जब आप इमाम को हैप्पी करते हैं, खुश करते हैं, उसके अंदर आपकी कामयाबी कामयाबी और कामयाबी है। नाकामी का कोई भी मौका नहीं है, यहाँ पर मुमकिन ही नहीं है नाकामी, क्योंकि आपने इमाम को खुश कर दिया अपना वादा पूरा करके। Just the fact you are sitting in ibadat bandagi is in self going on the path of Sirat al-Mustaqim. To each and every one of you today, I give my best blessing for success. Just the fact you are sitting in bandagi is in itself going on the path of Sirat al-Mustaqim. Let's try to understand this part. What is Sirat al-Mustaqim? A path toward the asal, a path toward the spiritual life, a path closer to the Imam's Noor, a path of the spiritual success. Just the fact that you are sitting in Bandagi is in itself going, moving, forwarding, coming closer to the Noor of the Imam on the path, the straight path of Sirat al-Mustaqim. Do we understand this part? खाली इबादत में बैठना ही ऐसा है जैसा आप सिरात al-मुस्तकीम पर आगे बढ़ गए। क्या है सिरात al-मुस्तकीम? आपकी रूहानी तरक्की है। चूंकि आप इबादत में बैठे हैं तो ऐसा है जैसा आप सिरात al-मुस्तकीम पर आगे बढ़े, इमाम के नूर के करीब आए, असल के करीब आए, रूहानियत के करीब आ गए। आपने देखा अभी तक आप सिर्फ बैठे हैं, कुछ भी नहीं किया है, आपने अपना वादा निभाया है कि मैं सुबह को उठकर इबादत में बैठूंगा, और ये बैठना ही आपकी तरक्की की निशानी है। Just sitting in ibadat itself is taking you and moving you forward on this Sirat al-Mustaqim, and for that Imam is giving you the best blessing for that. Look at the mercy of the Imam. Just because you have fulfilled your promise and sitting in ibadat, he wants to give you the benefit of this success on this Sirat al-Mustaqim. You are one step closer to the Nur of Imam just because you have sit in the ibadat. Keep in mind that this is not a matter of material world, it is a matter of soul, of the spirit. With that note, I will stop. Keep in mind that this is not a matter of material world. It is a matter of soul, of the spirit. याद रखें कि ये दुनियावी काम नहीं, मामला नहीं, ये आपकी रूह का मामला है और रूहानियत का मामला है। इसी के साथ हम यहाँ पर रोकते हैं ताकि आपके जो भी सवालात हो उसके खातर खा जवाब दिए जा सके। बहुत नवाजिश, thank you for joining us today. Now if you have any question, raise your hand, help Kamariya Sahib, he will help you ask your questions, and I'm sure there would be few, inshallah. Ji.
Subhanallah, sir. Friends, please share your questions in the chat, or you can use the raise my hand feature to ask question. Okay, sir, we don't have any question in the chat at this time. Friends, please go ahead if you have any questions. You can use the raise my hand feature. Or you can just simply unmute your device and ask the questions.
याली मदद कभी कभी अपन इबादत के बंदगी में बैठते हैं तो अपन को सब खोटा ख्याल आता है, तो उसके बारे में आप क्या कहना चाहते हो?
ये तो कुछ भी नहीं कहना चाहता हूँ। अगर आपका सवाल है तो कुछ अर्ज कर सकता हूँ।
नहीं, कभी कभी ऐसा है अपन को, समझो कोई गंदे ख्याल आते हो अपन को, तो उसके लिए क्या करना चाहिए?
हाँ, अब आपने सवाल पूछा ना, उसके लिए क्या करना चाहिए, ये सवाल था। हमारी इबादत या हमारे ख्यालात हमारे दीन के वक्त जो हम अमाल करते हैं उसका रिफ्लेक्शन है, उसका एक्सरे है। अगर हम दिन के वक्त सारा दिन पंचायत, बुराई, बुरे ख्यालात या दूसरे कामों में हमारा दिन गुजरता है, अगर हमारा ध्यान इबादत में नहीं लगता है, उसकी एक ही वजह है कि हमने सारा दिन ऐसी चीजों के अंदर गुजारा, यानी कि हमने इबादत करने के लिए प्रैक्टिस नहीं की थी दिन के वक्त। इबादत की प्रैक्टिस दिन के वक्त होती है। हमारे ख्यालात जो है वो हमारे उन अमाल का बदला है जो हम अपने दिन के वक्त करते हैं। यानी कि 23 घंटे में हमने क्या किया, 23 घंटे के अंदर उसका रिफ्लेक्शन हमारे सामने आता है इबादत के अंदर। अगर कोई शख्स इबादत के अंदर ध्यान लगाना चाहता है तो उसको चाहिए कि वो सारा दिन अपने इसमें आजम की प्रैक्टिस करें, अपनी जबान को बंद रखें, बुरी बातें, बेकार की बातें, स्पेशली किसी की बुराई, किसी की लिए गॉसिपिंग या बैकबाइटिंग, और अपना ध्यान और अपनी जबान को इबादत की इसमें आजम की प्रैक्टिस में रखें। जो आप दिन में करेंगे वही आपको रात को नजर आएगा। ये बिल्कुल वाजे फैक्ट है, बात है, क्योंकि जो आपने दिन में किया है, जो फसल बोई है, वही आप रात को काटने वाले हैं। प्रैक्टिस, प्रैक्टिस एंड प्रैक्टिस मस्ट बी, जरूरी है कि प्रैक्टिस दिन के वक्त हो ताकि रात को उसका बदला हमें मिले। सारा दिन अगर हमने बुराइयां की होगी या बेकार के काम किए होंगे, स्पेशली हमारी जबान और हमारे कान, हमारी आंखें, सारा दिन अगर हमने बेकार की बातें की होगी, सुनी होगी और देखी होगी, तो बस वही सुबह को इबादत में आपको मिलेगा और कुछ नहीं मिलने वाला है, क्योंकि हमने प्रैक्टिस नहीं की थी। जी
थैंक यू सर।
जी
सर इसी को थोड़ा सा इंग्लिश में अगर बता। Thank you.
जी जी। So my friend was asking, why do we have so many worldly thoughts and sometimes even bad thoughts in our ibadat? The simple answer is that whatever we do during our daytime, it will reflect in your ibadat. Especially if we have done nothing but gossiping and backbiting. So there are three doors to our heart. One is our mouth, gossiping, our ears, listening to the gossip and backbiting, and watching the bad things. When we do that, what you have done is you have put a dirt, you have made a film of all of the bad things during the day. Now you are replaying those things during the ibadat. That is your subconscious replaying what you have been doing during the daytime. When a mu'min keep his mouth shut, does not speak unless necessary, keeps his ear clean, do not listen to the things which is not important or necessary, and do not see bad things from his eyes, meaning turn away from the bad things. If you do that for 23 hours, what else would it reflect in your ibadat? So what does Momin do? He practice his Isme Azam and have a good thoughts about the ibadat. He think of the ibadat all day long and practices his Isme Azam every second, every minute, whenever he has opportunity to do so. If those are your practices, that's what you will have reflection at the evening, in the morning. So whatever you will put in your heart, it will show in the ibadat. If you have practiced during the daytime, it will help you at 4 o'clock. So whatever you have practiced, you will receive. It will reflect. And this is easy. Whatever you have put on your heart, it will reflect at the night time. If you have put good, it will come out good. If you have put in bad, it will come out bad. Simple as that. There is no science that I would do something bad and then something good will happen. You do good, good will happen. Inshallah. Ji.
It's we had a question in the chat. So I think fans asking. So we were admitted into the Bethel here when we were children, and we were not aware of the importance of it. So I think fans wants to know that. So why you were admitted when you were children?
Right. Practice. Practice and practice is the answer to that. Our parents, our family wanted to give us an opportunity to practice ibadat. So when we grow up, then we can go to the Imam Zaman and say, now I want to enroll myself into the Bethel Kyal. I like an Isme Azam. I want to elevate my soul. I want to do something for the other side. Enrolling us was a good will and good deed for our family, for our parents. We haven't done anything yet until we go to the Imam Zaman. Now you are saying that I am ready and I want to be enrolled in Bethel Kyal. That is very important to understand. Up until that point, someone else has done for you. And if you remember the first paragraph in this Farman, what Mullah says, has someone has pushed you into the Bethel Kyal? That is not the way to go into Bethel Kyal, right? So our parents did their part. Their goodwill and their good deed was to enroll us so we can practice. And then when we are ready, now you want to enroll yourself with your free will, with your wish, by saying, I want to enroll so I may elevate my soul for the benefit of my soul, for the benefit of the other side. That is the reason that Imam used word, now you are entering into the Bethel Kyal and I accept you into the Bethel Kyal. Because today you have intent to do so. Ji.
Yes, Subhanallah, sir. So another question. A lot of time, the negative events, for example, arguments are not initiated by us, but by others, which affect us emotionally and stay with us for all day long. How do we manage them during the ibadat time?
You don't. Let me repeat. You need to manage that during other 23 hours. There are events which are not in our control, and I agree with you 100%. It is not in our control. But management needs to be done during 23 hours. You see, you need to manage that, and you understand that you need to manage that. Your question reflects that part, that you understood that it needs to be managed. So when would you manage that? During daytime. When those things happens, take out the tasbih. Take some time out. Sit aside. Practice your Isme Azam. Practice other mushkil asan tasbiyat. Clear your mind. Clear your thoughts. If you can get away from those events, get away from it. I have seen many people, when something like this happens, they go into their room, they go outside for a walk. If it's in your control, get away from those things. If it's not in your control, and I understand sometimes it's not in your control, after that, sit aside. Take a break. Calm yourself down. Do some tasbiyat. Recite your Isme Azam abundantly. During the day, manage it during the day. Inshallah, if you don't get good 1 hour that night, you will have a good 5 minutes that night. Why would you have that good 5 minutes? Because you practice your Isme Azam. Because you reflected on it. Because you knew it's going to bother you at night time. So you managed it. This one is called mindfulness. Remember this word. Mindfulness. Because you are mindful that because of all these things going on, unnecessary, out of my control, is going to bother me during the ibadat. So what did you do? You were mindful of that. So you managed it during the daytime. And if you do that, because you're mindful, watch, you will have good 5 minutes, if not whole hour. You will have a good 5 minutes. That's all you need. That is all you need. Inshallah. Try it. Practice, practice, practice. Very good question, whoever is asking. Thank you.
जरा उर्दू में बोलो।
आपके सवाल को मैंने इंग्लिश में दोबारा दोहराया था। वही सवाल था जो आपको मैंने बताया।
ओके, थैंक यू।
एक मेरा ऐसा क्वेश्चन है कि अभी जैसी एज बढ़ती है तो घर वाले कैसा कहते हैं आपका नाम आप फिदाई में डाल दीजिए, नूरानी में जाइए, पर मेरा कहना होता है कि मैं बैतुल ख्याल में ही रेगुलर नहीं हूँ, तो उसमें मैं जाके क्या कर सकती हूँ? तो ये मेरे को बॉर्डर करता है हमेशा क्वेश्चन। तो आप हमें क्या गाइडेंस दे सकते हैं?
मजालिस हमारी खिदमत और कुर्बानी के अंदर गिनी जाती है। यानी कि चांदरात की मजलिस जो फर्ज है, बैतुल ख्याल में जिसमें आपने खुद दाखिला लिया है, इसके अलावा जितनी भी मजालिस है वो तमाम की तमाम सिर्फ आपकी खिदमत और आपकी कुर्बानी गिनी जाती है। यानी कि वो अगर आप पढ़ना चाहते हैं तो ठीक है, अगर आप इसलिए पढ़ना चाहते हैं क्योंकि सारी फैमिली है और अच्छे अच्छे कपड़े पहन के उसमें जाएंगे तो नियत ही खराब थी, तो फिर बेकार बात है, पैसे भी किए और वक्त भी जाया हो गया, राइट। तो इस तरह से आप इसको सोचेंगे कि क्या ये मेरी खिदमत और कुर्बानी के लिए मैंने मजलिस में दाखिला लिया है, तो वेल एंड गुड, कोई बात नहीं है, आप कर रहे हैं, लेकिन इबादत को नहीं छोड़ सकते आप। इबादत तो जरूरी है रूह की निजात के लिए। इबादत नंबर 1 प्रायोरिटी होनी चाहिए। इबादत सबसे ऊपर होनी चाहिए हमारी चेकलिस्ट के अंदर। बाकी सब जो भी आप करना चाहें, या तो आपके फराइज में गिना जाएगा, दुआ, दसौन, चांद रात की मल्लस, या आपकी खिदमत और कुर्बानी में गिना जाएगा, नौमी की मल्लस, लाइफ की मल्लस, फिदा की मल्लस, नूरानी की मल्लस वगैरह वगैरह। जी,
थैंक यू।
But we don't have any questions yet in the chat.
करीमा, आप आपको म्यूट कर लें प्लीज। कमरे साहब, आप म्यूट कर सकेंगे करीमा को?
Okay, sir. Done. Uh,
Yali Madad.
याली मदद।
It's just a thought that's been going on in my mind for the last few days. It's to do with the soul. We understand from Mola Bapa the soul is eternal, and everything that happens, there is a sentence, it says, the traceless one writes and having written moves on. When we die, the soul is eternal. So those memories, the material things, do they also continue to be with the soul after death in your journey?
That's a really good question. There are few things that will remain with you. Worldly thought, no. Worldly thought will not remain with you. Kamle Sahib, Karima is still not mute, and because of that, there's not.
so there's something is wrong in the software. I
Can you
think
mute
I'm not being
everyone?
able to.
Can you mute everyone,
Yeah,
and I will unmute myself?
let me check.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Kamle Sahib. तो अमीना का जो सवाल था, so our soul will have some things remembered, but nothing of this world. Worldly thoughts, the worldly memories will not come with us, but some. Okay? All of the ilm, Rohani ilm, not material ilm, all of the ilm which has to do with your soul will remain with your soul. That is why it is so important for us to have lot of Rohani ilm that will remain with you, because it has to do with your soul. In your memory, all of the events of the Didar, Imam's Didar in your lifetime, or Imam's Didar in your Ruhaniyat, including the light, will remain with your soul. Why? Why? Because it is a matter of the soul, and it is a matter of the spirit. Anything that has to do with the soul will remain with the soul. Anything that has to do with the material and physical life will vanish with the body. When body is no more, all of those things will go away because it is not spiritual, has nothing to do with our soul. So ilm number one will remain with you if it's the spiritual knowledge. That is why so much emphasis is given on spiritual knowledge. That will remain with you. If you are good in accounting, if you are good in making a sale, if you are an IT person, none of that will matter because it has nothing to do with our spiritual life. All of your education, worldly education, is for the benefit of the world. I think there is a huge mistake the Jamaat is making, still making, that they force their children and they give them so much worldly education and hardly any spiritual education. We hardly pay any attention to the spiritual education, which is permanent compared to all the schooling and colleges, and the degrees are temporary. You need that, but it's not permanent. What you need and what is permanent is your spiritual knowledge. This 1 hour we give to the Imam Zaman, let's say we give 7 hours a week, 1 hour a day for the ilm of the soul, that will remain with you. Second, any of the didar, the good memories of Imam's didar, because that is the matter of the soul again, will remain with you. Third, if you are touched by the light, any good memories of the ibadat will remain with you. Why? Because it's matter of the soul and matter of the spirit. G. Very good question. Thank you.
Sir, I have another question, if I may.
Sure, please.
We sit in Ibadat in dark. May I please request what this is for?
Just so we can concentrate on our Ismi Azam. Because if you close the eyes during the daytime and if you close the curtain, you can make the same environment as nighttime. So that's number one reason, okay? Just so you can concentrate. You know it's dark outside, you cannot see anything. So what are you doing? You are telling yourself it's time to see inside. Mentally, unconsciously, you are telling yourself there's nothing to see outside. It's time to see inside. You see, just by making that environment, subconsciously, you are telling yourself that. Number two reason. In the Jamaat Khana, when they turn off the light, number one, they are telling you it's time for you to concentrate in your batin. Number two, it is the individual matter. Don't worry about who's sitting next to you. Don't worry about what other people are doing in Jamaat Khana. Now we have given you an environment where you individually and personally can sit and do your ibadat. I remember long time ago, my teacher used to tell me, all of the other students along with me, that when you are in Jamaat Khana and when the light goes off, think that you are the only one there and there's no one up. Just take everyone else out of your mind. It is just you sitting in Jamaat Khana and you are doing your ibadat and Imam is holding your hand. Imam is next to you. Imam has put his hand on you. Remember, we were just children. So he wanted to create an environment, mental environment for us. That helped a lot. Having a good teachers helps a lot. And that is the reason why we turn off the light, to give you that peace of mind, illusion that there's nothing to see outside. Second, there's no one there but you, because you cannot see anyone else. Keeping your eyes closed is very important too, because so you can concentrate inside as there's nothing to see outside. G.
Sir?
Aziz bhai, क्या हाल है मतलब?
Yeah, Ali
Sir?
Madad.
Oh.
G.
करीम बोल रहा हूँ.
Karim bhai, give me 1 second. Amina, did you want to
Sir,
add something?
I had one more.
Go, go ahead.
During Betul Khayal, during Bandgi time, from what I've understood, that also the Ruhaniyat, the spiritual souls, are also there in Khane. And the question that went through my mind from attending your other sessions with the Qaim Shanasi and Imam Shanasi, when the Hujjat Ekayam comes, there will be spiritual souls and angels also come to help to spread the religious knowledge everywhere. So
Amina, may I
I'm a
say
little
something?
confused.
Amina, may I say something?
Yes, sir.
This is a wrong platform to ask that question.
Yes,
Let's
yes.
talk about that in some other platform.
All right. I'm sorry. Thank you.
No worries, no worries. Go ahead, Karim bhai.
यार मतलब Aziz bhai.
Yeah, Ali
So
Madad.
I just wanted some more explanation. Not explanation, as in just थोड़ा सा clarity चाहिए मेरे को. जिधर आपने वो मौलाना हज़रत इमाम अलैहिस्सलाम का जो फरमान आपने पढ़ा अभी और जिधर हाईलाइट किया हुआ है, तो इधर जब मौला बोलते हैं कि keep in mind that this is not a matter of the material world. It is a matter of the soul, apostrophe, comma, of the spirit. So if I were to understand it, हमारी language में हम जो बोलते हैं जो जीव है और जो रूह है, can this be compared to that the soul being the जीव and the spirit being the रूह?
No.
No, okay.
अपनी लैंग्वेज में रूह और रूहानियत.
Okay.
रूह और रूहानियत, ये पुराने जमाने के अंदर जब हमारी वोकेबलरी अच्छी नहीं होती थी ना, we did not have a very good understanding. तो हमारे बुजुर्ग अलवाइजों ने हमें ऐसी चीजें सिखाई जिससे अभी हम जान नहीं छुड़ा सक रहे हैं. जीव और रूह एक ही चीज है. उन्होंने पता नहीं कहां से ये कॉन्सेप्ट लाया था, शायद हमारी नासमझी की वजह से उन्होंने हमको ऐसी एक आसान समझ दी कि जीव अलग है और रूह अलग है. ये बात दुरुस्त नहीं है. जीव और रूह एक ही चीज है. यहाँ पर रूह और रूहानियत की बात हो रही है. English language is much easier, and shukr alhamdulillah, with education we now have much more better vocabulary, at the same time much more understanding, where our forefathers did not have that. And those older alwazin, I don't know if they had that good vocabulary or not. I don't know. I cannot say anything about them because they are our elder elder ALWAAZin. But maybe I would say, let's blame it on myself. I did not have a better understanding, so they were using the language that I could understand. Okay?
Thank you so much for that clarity.
You're welcome. I love this kind of questions because there are some vocabulary that we are still using in the past due to the lack of understanding, due to the not having a good education or good languages to utilize. But Imam himself has given us much more better language and vocabulary for us to understand. And that is a great mercy of the Imam on the Murid today. Thank you, Karim Bhai. Great, perfect. G.
Right. So we have a couple of questions. So one of the friends asking, so building up on the previous question which Amina Saba asked, is there any recognition of other souls like your parents' sibling?
Okay. I understand this question that you are saying, will we remember our parents or sibling in other life? Is that your question?
Yes, sir. I think that's what it's asking.
Okay. Simple answer from the Quran and from the Imam's Farman. We are from one single soul. Nafsun wahida. Nafsun wahida. Does this answer your question? We are all from one single soul. Your parents, your children, your friends, Imam, we are all from one single soul. And where are we all in that one single soul? In the Imam. So at the level of the soul, not only your parents, because you will be able to recognize all of the souls around you, all of the souls around you. And if you need a reference for that from the Quran to make my point, if you need a reference, look at 57, that is Surah Al-Hadid, number 13 ayat. 57:13 has your answer. Another good question. Thank you.
So another question. Some people want to sit in one particular place every day in Jamaat Khana during the Bandagi time. Does sitting place makes a difference?
Sometime, yeah, because you get used to a place or a corner, a selected place where you like to sit. You know, I know I have done this myself in particular Jamaat Khanas, depending on which Jamaat Khana I go to. If I'm in Karachi or if I'm in America or which Jamaat Khana do I go in Dallas, there are particular corners that I would like to sit, but it's not required. I would like to sit there because I'm comfortable in that corner or in that one place. But if that place is not available, it would not make any difference. But I would like to have that. So it's just a matter of comfort. If you are comfortable and that is your liking, you like that place, and most of us do. I think most of us have a particular place in the morning and evening we like to sit. I think it's a human nature. We like familiar things. We like comfortable places. So sure, why not? G.
Yes, there's another question. Does the soul of the deceased person have memory of their physical family members?
I think we already answered that, right? Nafsun wahida.
Rahim, please go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, Ya Ali Madad, sir.
Ya Ali Madad.
Sir, I have a question, and as per the session that we said is that the whole day जब हम इबादत की प्रैक्टिस करते हैं तब जाके हम मॉर्निंग में मेडिटेशन के अंदर कंसंट्रेट कर पाते हैं. So as I want to say is that when we go in the car and when we do zikr e zaki like हम जोर से उसकी जिक्र को करें या अली या मोहम्मद तो like हमारे सराउंडिंग्स में भी कोई रूहें होती है like there are some spiritual souls around us and especially when we talk about इसमें आजम अगर मैं गाड़ी में अकेले अकेले जा रहा हूँ और मैं वो मेरा इसमें आजम मैं अकेले गाड़ी में जोर से बोलता हूँ where is no one along with me so does that affects the surrounding souls as well जो मेरे आजू बाजू में है कि वो सुन रही है क्योंकि मौला बाबा बोलते हैं कि do not discuss your इसमें आजम with anybody so how about the spiritual souls around you.
That is so amazing question, Rahim Bhai. So amazing question. What about the souls around you and what about the soul inside of you? You know, humans are a combination of many, many good souls. You know, and not only when Imam says that do not discuss your Isme Azam with others, because Isme Azam is not open for discussion. The underlined word, discussion. But when you are reciting your Isme Azam, the souls within you and souls around you, because they have no limit of body. So even if you are saying it quietly within yourself, they can still hear you because soul has no limitation, no body limitation. So you can say it quietly or you can say it loudly. They can hear you. Amazing question. That is another
So
good
sir
feeling. Hold on, Rahim. That is another good feeling that when we are in car and when we are doing zikre jali and you are involving all of the other souls around you, and if they are also reciting the same Isme Azam with you, can you imagine how much power you are generating? How much power you are creating? Now your one Isme Azam is multiplied by thousand and thousand and thousand and thousand. So every time you say one time Ali, it multiplies into 40,000, 70,000. How amazing is this thought? Think about that. That will help you definitely a great deal. Now, you're loudly or silently, doesn't matter. Niyat, what is your purpose of doing that? Your purpose was to remind yourself that I need to practice my Isme Azam. That was your niyat, right? When you were doing that in your car. That is more important than anything else. G. Please continue, Rahim bhai.
Yeah, so my connection to this question is that when I'm involved in zikr e zaki, मैं जिक्र करता हूँ चिल्ला के जोर से मैं जिक्र करता हूँ. So when we are communicating with our family members और कभी कभी मेरा इसमें आजम मुंह पे आते आते रुक जाता है या if it gets spelled out then so how can we control on that?
Very easy. Very, very, very easy, Rahim bhai. So let's say I'm just throwing an example that your Isme Azam is Ya Ali Ya Muhammad. But we say that tasbih every day in Jamaat Khana. So if something comes out of your mouth You don't have to say, oh my God, I'm so sorry, I spilled out my Isme Azam. You don't have to say anything. Because Isme Azam is one of the name of Allah. Everyone knows your Isme Azam. You know that, right? You think no one knows your Isme Azam. Actually, everybody knows your Isme Azam. Because it is one of the name of Allah. Is one of the name from the Quran. Everyone knows your Isme Azam. So there are Isme Azam that Imam gives, which we recite normally in Jamaat Khana, which are recited in other tasbiyat. You see how you behave, how you act. So if your Isme Azam spills out, so what? Don't react to it. There is no big deal. Remember, let me remind you of the Farman again. Isme Azam is not there for discussion. Underline word discussion. Don't discuss your Isme Azam with others. Otherwise, there are tasbiyat that we recite in Jamaat with thousands of people, which is also your Isme Azam. And everyone knows your Isme Azam. I can tell you that right now. Everyone knows your Isme Azam. Everyone knows my Isme Azam. Everyone knows Isme Azam because it's part of the Allah's name. Ji. Great discussion.
Thank you, sir.
Very good discussion. You're welcome.
So there are no questions in the chat.
Ji.
So it's 8:30. You want to end the session here, sir?
I'm sorry?
Sir, it's 8:30. You want to end the session here?
Yes, I think we should. Let's stop here and we will continue next week from this very Farman. Thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you, Kamil Sahib. Yali Madad.
मौला अली मदद।
Mola Ali Madad, sir. Yani
Yali
Madad, thank you.
Madad.
Yali Madad, sir. Thank you.
Yali Madad. Yali
Ali
Madad.
Madad, sir. Thank you very much. Ali
Yali
Madad, shukran.
Madad.
Yani
Yali
Madad,
Madad.
sir. Thank you.
Yali Madad. Yali Madad.